Hey guys, it's me, Melly. Welcome back to my channel, Melly's Yarn and Book Adventures. Today is March 1st, and I'm excited because it is my birthday month. Yes, I said birthday month. Even though I only celebrate on my birthday, I'm like, oh, it's my birthday month. And the past 2 years have not been that great for birthdays, so, you know. It's also my husband's birthday month and my middle child's birthday month. I'm March 24th. He's the 26th. She's the 27th. So, we make it kind of special. Anyway, it's been less than a week since I last recorded, but I have some great stuff to show you. And I wanted to, make a vlog. So sit back and relax and grab a cup of tea, coffee, if it's later on wherever you're at, beverage of your choice. Today I'm drinking Harney & Sons Earl Grey with a touch of milk. Usually I foam my milk and I make a London Fog latte. I don't know. But there's like something missing from the London Fog. It's supposed to be like a lavender flavored, like Earl Grey and lavender, and then you foam the milk and make a latte. But anyway, I digress. On to exciting stuff. Okay, so let me get this out the way so that way I can move on to the exciting things. Remember the sweater I was knitting my son? Well, yes, I did. I somehow messed up the measurement for the sleeve. So there's the bottom of the sleeve, there's the top of the sleeve, but there's the sleeve. It doesn't work. The measurements don't work. I follow the pattern as called for. I mean, it might work, but I already cut the other sleeve off because I got so mad. I mean, see, now I'm sitting here looking at it, and I'm like, wait, it may have worked, and I may have messed this whole thing up. Well, first of all, no, it didn't work. I couldn't even stretch it. Like, that's what it would have looked like. It would have pulled the neck. I got so frustrated, I cut the other sleeve off. So now I have to unravel. Like, I really just was like, ugh. So I have to unravel this whole thing. Because I had started sewing it up. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go with it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go with it. I got mad. So I cut the sleeve off. I don't know what I was thinking when I did that. I must have been lost my mind. But I couldn't get it undone any other way. So I'm just going to unravel this. Probably ruined the yarn. I actually threw it in the trash bin. Luckily, the trash bin was empty and there was nothing in it that could have ruined the yarn. But I got so frustrated. I think I'll start from the bottom. Anyway, I'll do that later. But I needed to get that off my chest. Like, I don't know what happened. Did I do it wrong? Maybe I sewed it in the wrong spot. I don't know. I don't know what I did wrong. But whatever I did wrong, it just did not work. And this isn't flat knitting. And this is why I don't like to flat knit, because somehow I always mess it up. I don't know. No clue. So I'm actually going to take the yarn and take the thing and take everything and put it away and get it on my site. I mean, my son was not... I mean, he wanted the sweater, but I'm just going to make him a sweater and around with the same yarn. I have more than enough. And I can always, if I need more, take this. Unravel it from the bottom up and whatever. But I put so much time and effort into that. It took me almost a month, I'm going to say, to make all the pieces. And I somehow still messed it up. So, I don't know. Anyway, the next exciting thing. Well, let me show you the things I'm working on. I'm still working on my sweater in the round. I'm not going to show you that because it's just the body and that's it. But I was working on this. So this is a triangle shawl. But what I did was I split for the neck. So I bound off some stitches so it would kind of go like, so you could have easier to wrap it around. And it's not like all bunchy and bulky. Then I realized I'm not going to have enough yarn of this color. And I know I have more of this color, which is, this is Alpaca Ice Yarn. And here, I'll show you. It's Ice Yarn. And it's a Mary Maxim yarn I have wound and put together. The Mary Maxim's like a mohair type, I guess, alpaca something. I don't know. It's something. And I realized I do have more of this, but I wanted to make a sweater out of it. So I'm going to frog this whole thing. I mean, the idea is great, and I will do this. I will make this. Just not with this yarn. Or I'm going to frog this part. I'm going to frog this part. And I'm going to get a different yarn to put on there. Because I want to make a sweater out of this yarn. I actually like the way it's working up as a sweater, like for a sweater material. So I want to make a sweater out of that. So I'm going to frog that. I know, right? Like, have I lost my mind? I guess I should have put a lifeline in. But I didn't, of course. So, but the other exciting thing I wanted to show you was, I was in the Goodwill and on Friday, and I wanted to show you this cute bag I bought. Very retro, wooden handles. Very nice wooden handles at that. Just a plain inside. Oh, I found a pair of socks. Must have been knitting and took off my socks. But I thought that was really cute. My daughter said it looks 70s. I was like, yep, probably, just about. But it works as what I want it to work for. So I'm actually going to take this project out of it and put this project that I just casted on. You ever have that moment where you're so frustrated with the things you're working on, or not even frustrated and not bored? You just, when you have a project that just didn't go right and you get like frazzled about it and you're like, oh, now I don't want to work on nothing. So, but my hands were itching to cast on a pair of socks. So I cast on a pair of socks using Patton's Croy Socks FX. In the colorway Clover Colors. It's a 50-gram ball, so I'll probably make a pair of shorties because I only have one of these. I got this from, I think I got this from the Goodwill. I'm not even sure. This may have been one of the yarns I got in the Goodwill, or it may have been one of the yarns I bought myself. But I will show you yarns right now because socks. And I'm not sure how I feel. I've never worked with Patton's sock yarn before. But if you look at the way it's spun, it's very springy, I could tell you that. I'm using 2.25 needles, 64 stitches, which is really funny because I actually cast it on 62. And I must have picked up the bar in between two stitches twice because 62. So I ended up with 64 stitches. So I was like, oh, I guess my socks are going to be 64 stitches. I mean, I could always decrease, but 62 or 64 stitches is fine. And this yarn's a little bit, that's my tail, a little bit thicker or springier. I don't know what you would call it. And I figured I'm using smaller needles, not the recommended needle size, because they say 2.75. So I'm using 2.25. Hold on. 2. Where's my needle size? Hold on. 2.25. Higher, 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 higher. Not higher, higher sharps, just higher, higher. 9-inch circs, and I figured, well, the yarn or my needles must have known what they were doing, because I know I counted 62, but when I was doing my first row, I ended up with 64. So I'm not sure how that happened. But I'm just doing a 1x1 rib. And I'm going to do a plain vanilla stockinette stitch. Just because it's a very colorful. It reminded me of spring. It's not showing. I mean, it kind of is showing correctly. But it's like blues and greens and yellows and oranges and pinks. Kind of purples. I guess that's a good representation. So these colors here remind me of spring. So anyway, so like I'm sitting here this morning, and I always knit in the morning when I'm drinking my coffee, trying to figure out what my day is going to be. Or my tea, or whatever it is I'm drinking. Usually it's either tea or coffee. And I usually, like, after I drop my son off, I come and I knit for a little while, and drink my coffee. But I'm sitting here and I'm like, I don't want to work on my sweater. I don't have the other thing to work on. My shawl, I'm going to take it apart, but I don't feel like doing that. And my hands were itching to make a pair of socks, because I haven't made a pair of socks since the beginning of the year. Basically, since January. It's now March. But I think I needed to take a break. I actually did start a pair of socks with that Michael's Wool-like, Loops and Threads Wool-like yarn on my Drops Classic DPNs. Because it seems like I wanted all the DPNs. I wanted to try all different, And I just didn't like the yarn. I mean, not that I didn't like the yarn. It was just, I couldn't. I think that it was not the right yarn to choose for that sock for that moment. So I will frog it. Actually, I'll finish them. But I just was like, not right now. Like, I couldn't knit them. But now I'm like, I want to knit socks. So I'm back on a sock kick. I also think it had something to do with the fact that I had gotten all those vintage needles in the mail, and I wanted to use them. Because you know how us knitters are. We get a new tool or toy, and we want to, like, use it. We want to, like, play with it. We want to, test it out. Send it for a test run. So I think that was the thing. Because I was the same way when I tried 9-inch needles and then discovered they didn't hurt my hands like a lot of people. Like you hear a lot of people say, oh, they're too small, they hurt my hands. But once you get used to them, in my book, I didn't have a problem with them. And then I wanted all the DPN. I mean, all the 9-inch needles. Obviously, I didn't buy that many, but I bought a couple. And then I was like, after a while, that fun kind of wore off. That, I got, whatever. So then I was all about the DPNs. Like, oh, I love my DPNs. I want to use my DPNs. There's so much, they feel like it's the original way that you knit socks. You always use DPNs. I want to do it that way, But at the end of the day, I thought about it. And I'm like, it doesn't matter what you use. Like, I can't do magic loop. I do not like magic loop. Magic loop is not my thing. Just like I cannot do Kitchener stitch. But that's okay, because I have my own way of doing up my socks. And let me see if I can find those socks and I'll show you. You wouldn't even know. Sorry, there's a cat hair on them. But what I do is I get it to the amount of stitches I need for my toe. And then I thread it through and I cinch it, but not very tight. I cinch it to the, you know, just tight enough. And then what I do is I guess it's called a whip stitch. I whip stitch it so it looks like it's a stitch. And it works out fine. I've never had my toe, I mean, I've had holes in my sock toes, but not at that area. They've always been like right above where my, in the regular stockinette stitch, where my, I guess, toenail would sit. From where when I wear my boots. Which is an easy fix. But I've never had a problem with, like my toe opening up or coming apart or whatever. I mean, everybody, I have done 3 needle bind off for the toe. It's fine, but I don't like it because you got that ridge inside the toe and it kind of bothers sometimes. Especially when you're wearing socks and you're at work for 8 hours and after a while your feet start to hurt. And then like your feet hurt and you feel everything. So, like, even though it doesn't bother you on a normal basis, you feel it because your feet are bothering you, and it's more noticeable. At least to me. I don't know about anybody else. Anyway, off onto, I'm on a tangent. Also, let me show you. I don't know if I showed you guys this. I really don't remember if I showed you. But I had gotten from Goodwill. I'm pretty sure I showed you guys these. But the sock yarn I had gotten in Goodwill. I'm pretty sure I showed you guys these, but I'm not quite sure. But what I really wanted to show you, what I'm most excited about, most excited is this. All right, let me move this. In the mail, well, on eBay, in the mail yesterday. And it actually was 2 orders and the seller combined it into 1. So I got like 20 magazines. I have Women's Weekly from the UK from 1962. There's actually like many. So I have like, I guess it's weekly. So I have like May 12th, 1962, April 29th, 1961, 1969. 1975. There's quite a few in here. 1973. 1968. 1976. This one has a thing about Prince Charles in it. Prince Charles exclusive new biography begins inside. Let's find it. I actually want to read that now. And this actually is, I don't know if the person that was selling it is from the UK. But, so, like, wow. So, like, but it's really cool, like, that's in here. Anyway, but this, it reminds me of, hold on. It reminds me of a British version of like Women's Day or Reader's Digest. I have 1965, March 13th, March 20th. I have February 62. February 1962. January 1962, 65, 61, 60, 60. Let's see what else. I know there's some 50s in here. Like, you see this, right? 61, 61, 61, 61, 61, 61, 60, April 60, $1960, 59, 59. Oh, I like that sweater. 59, 15. Anyway, so like I was excited about this. And it's best for knitting. So I guess Women's Weekly, like, we're best for knitting. So let's see what is in this magazine. Let's find a good one. See if I can find a good beginner one. 1959, March 14th, March 28th. Let's do March 28th. Is there any more March in here? April. Okay, so let's do March 28th week. So every Monday, Women's Weekly, March 28th, 1959. So there's like a question and a little novella. And the novella is called Story of Alex. Alex was attractive. Alex was friendly. Alex was the sort of girl whom men like. But somehow she could not find the right man. Quick knit hat, a thick jacket, and an Orlan jersey. Just a jacket for a girl to wear with slim skirts or the more and more popular trews. I don't know what a true is. Made in double knitting, it's buttoned from the collar to the hip-hugging welt. It has these wonderful, comfortable square armholes. Our second offering is a classic jersey in Orlan in 4 sizes. This jersey has raglan sleeves and a ripped collar. Also in 3 sizes are the boys' jerseys with a simple Fair Isle band across the yoke and back. Okay, so we have a quick knit hat, some sewing patterns, another novella, The Threatening Storm, another novella, A Friend Who Understands. We have a cooking section. Okay, so then we have it is in flecked double knitting. So flecked double knitting, I guess, is what we call, oh wait, can you see it? Is, I guess, what we would call like tweedy today. If you enjoy the seaside holiday story, making a cutlery drawer. Interesting. And it gives photos and literally how to do it. The masculine idea. There's a men's sweater in here, knitting pattern. And then you have the house in the timber wood story. Okay, that's a pretty long one. The doctor says it's spring. Medical tales. Oh, wait. Horoscope. From March 23rd to March 29th. Guidance for every woman from hints based on astrology. So I am an Aries. So in 1959, my astrology was, if you have arrangements for the coming weeks in mind, look these over. There may be a snag you can iron out. Socially, an active period appears to be likely. Unexpected tidings may lend sparkle to the week. Okay, so this is just a continuation of all the novellas. That's a pretty long novella. The story of Alex, the threatening storm. But wait, where is the pattern for knitting? The sweater. Miss Marriott advises. Dear readers, this week of Reader Writes, I would like your advice on my problem. I have been very happily married for 9 years. But recently, I went out with my husband, who is a salesman, and saw all the pretty young girls he meets each day. Ever since then, I keep thinking about them and wondering if he prefers them to me. He has such a charming, happy-go-lucky manner with everyone he meets. It's stupid, I know, when I feel I cannot trust him any longer. Whenever I mention this to my husband, he just laughs, and this makes me feel worse. I feel that if I go on like this, it might part us in the end. What can I do? I do not seem to be able to help being jealous. Mrs. C.J. Okay, this is really funny because, wow. Okay, so her answer is, I do agree with you that if you give way to quite unreasonable jealousy, it might end by spoiling your happy marriage. 9 years is a long time, dear reader. Long enough for a wife to know all her man's faults. And as during that time you have never had occasion to distrust him, why should you start now? What he says is quite right, you know. You are being silly, and you should be glad that he loves you. Okay, I'm just not going to say anything about that. Be glad. No, see, how I look at it, if this were me, I'm not going to be glad. I should be glad that my husband loves me. No. My husband's lucky to have me. Anyway, his manner is probably part of his job, and you know, and a man who flirted with the girls he met at business would be very foolish, which I am sure your husband is not. So don't say about your jealousy, I can't help it, will you? You can help it. And indeed, you must, for the more you talk about these girls to him, the more you're likely to put the idea into his mind. Which is, I'm sure, the very last thing you want to do. We're going to leave that alone. But I found it funny. But I really am looking for that pattern. Like, where is it? These two. Okay. Oh, next week. So March 28th. So I may not have that. No, I don't have it. Unless I do. March 20th. It would be April something. So I'll see if I can find it later. Anyway, so I have... Okay, these are the last, like, whatever. Oh, no, there's one more in there. So let's see if I can find... Oh, maybe. March, wait. Let me see something. March 14th? No, wait. Oh, whatever. Doesn't matter. Okay. Summer knitting specials. Odd jobs around the home. See inside. Most of these, which I didn't realize there were so many. There are, we're going to count these. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. So here's 10. 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 24, $4.25. That's actually a cute dress. So $4.25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 37. There's 37. And they're all in pretty decent condition, like I've got to say. So whoever had them took very good care of them. I just lost count, but it's about 40. Anyway, it's about 40. They're in a plastic bag, in a box. And I'm going to keep them in the plastic bag to keep them safe. But I didn't realize when I ordered them that, because I ordered 2 lots. So it's like one lot was like lot of 9. Okay, lot of 9. And then the other one was like huge lot of Women's Weekly. And it was by the same seller. You know, she said she was cleaning out her auntie's knitting room or sewing room. So I'm like, oh, it'll be about maybe 15 bucks. Get this big box yesterday. So then I messaged the seller and I'm like, hey, did you combine the orders? Like, because, you know, it's just to make sure. She was, and, you know, she told me, yeah, I did. And I refunded you the difference in shipping. So I was like, oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure because, you know, so it showed, so like I can, with eBay, because it was 2 separate orders that, you know, it says one's delivered and one isn't. I know that it's both of them are delivered. Anyway, so I thought that was really cool. And yes, I'm doing the vintage thing. I don't know why, but I'm not allowed to do it no more. No, I want to look through these books. I thought it was really cool. Sit there, you know, read a story. Let's read a story. But I got to put them in order so that I could read them from oldest, like, furthest back to recent. And I know, like, I'm missing issues, so it is what it is. But whatever. Yeah, so basically I just went off on a long tangent. Anyway, so that's what's been going on in my life. This is more of a, I'm not reading anything, Great Expectations. I'm reading slowly. That's about it. That's about it. There's not really much going on, but I wanted to show you the magazines. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to check me out on my other social media, Instagram, Goya Snow. I will try to put a link down below. Don't forget to leave a comment. Let me know. What is my cat doing? She's hiding somewhere. Oh, sorry. Anyway. Oh, and I forgot to tell you guys. I got a dog. So if you go check out my Instagram, you'll see a photo of him. If you want to see. His name is Bruno, because my kids. And he looked like a Bruno. He's the sweetest dog. We adopted him from the ACCT, which is the Animal Control and Care Team. And it's basically a shelter. But they also come out, like if you see stray animals, they'll come out and take them. Or, you know, if there's, like, it's not just the shelter. They do other things. Anyway, that's it for now. I guess I'll talk to you later. I hope you liked the video. Sorry about the long random tangent that has nothing to do about nothing. But I wanted to, again, show you guys this huge haul of vintage magazines that I got. I will update you. I will read one and update you and let you know what I thought. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.